Today I'm going to walk you through a transmission oil change on the Mercedes 7-speed automatic that was used in all of these cars. There are some special tools that you'll need, so I recommend you watch the entire video before trying this. I'll put links in the description below. The first step is to raise the front and rear of the car so that's level. The car needs to be level for one of the final steps, so it's good to do it now. If you're using a floor jack, I highly recommend one of these adapters. It holds the car securely so you can raise it safely. With the car in the air, we can start removing the belly pans underneath the car so we can see the transmission. You're going to want an 8mm socket to get these bolts undone. Now we can see the transmission oil pan and the drain bolt. Now's a good time to lay down a lot of cardboard because this process gets a little messy. The drain bolt takes a T40 Torx bit, so put your drain pan under there and crack it open. Some fluid will come out, but not that much. There's a fill tube inside the pan that we need to dislodge with a screwdriver. Put the screwdriver in there and push a little bit to dislodge the tube. The pan is about half empty now and we're almost ready to remove it. First you need to undo these two wire clips. They were a little bit stubborn, but basically just a money clip design. Just gently pry them off. Now you can remove the 6 bolts holding the pan up. Here's the driver front, driver middle, and driver rear bolt. You're going to want an 8mm socket to get these bolts undone. The rear bolt on the US passenger side is tucked up there and it's hard to get a socket on it. I can only reach it with a flat wrench, so I would do that one first. It's the most difficult one. Make sure to hold the pan while you remove the last couple bolts because it can fall down and it's still half full of fluid. As you can see, I had my drain pan here at the back, so once I got it lowered, I was able to tip the fluid into the drain pan and make it easier. And pull the oil filter down and off. And here's the overflow plug that we popped off with a screwdriver in the very beginning. It snaps right on there, and we have a new one, so we're going to replace it. At the top of the pan, there's a magnet. We're going to take that off and clean it. Yeah, very sludgy. Has some shavings, which is normal. Remove the old gasket and wipe down the pan. Here's the new overflow plug that simply snaps on. A new gasket for the oil drain plug. And we can put our clean magnet back in the pan. The last thing to add to the pan is a new gasket. The pan is ready, but first we have to put a new oil filter back in. Just push the plastic post up into the hole, and the far end of the filter kind of hangs down. The only thing that clicks into place is that post. It's time to put the pan back on, but be very careful not to roll the gasket. I don't like the gasket design. It kind of just sits on top of the oil pan. There's nothing to keep it from rolling, so once you get all the bolts on hand tight, go around and double check that you did not roll the gasket at all, especially in the back where the gasket touches first during the install. It's time to torque the bolts holding the pan up, and these are one-time use bolts, so the kit will come with new ones. You're supposed to tighten these to about 4 Newton meters, which is also 3 foot-pound, and then rotate the bolt 180 degrees after that. Don't forget to clip your wire back in place. To fill the car with fresh fluid, you're going to need this special tool. I'll leave a link in the description below. And this screws into the drain hole on the pan. You will also need a transfer pump to pump the fluid up into the pan. One hose goes into a container of fresh fluid, and the other hose goes onto the filler adapter. And you're ready to start pumping fluid up into the pan. Pump 5 quarts into the pan. and be ready to catch some overflow when you pull the hose off. Keep the fill tube attached and hop in the car and start it. You're going to shift between park, neutral, reverse, and drive, all while keeping your foot on the brake. Put the car in park and keep it running. Add another half quart of fluid and see if the car takes it. If it pours back out, your car is full and level. If it takes the half quart, jump back in the car and shift between gears again. Once the fluid is up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, or the pan is warm to the touch, and it stopped dripping out of the fill tube, you can take off the fill tube and replace it with a drain plug. Torque your drain plug to 16 foot-pounds, and bolt the belly pans back underneath the car. Here's what the fresh fluid looks like compared to my 30,000 mile old fluid, and you can see it's definitely discolored. And my filter is covered in sludge, so it's probably a good thing I did this. And that's it. You now have a smooth shifting Mercedes transmission, and you probably saved yourself a lot of money. Be sure to check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.